Thug trying to take control of his narrative. And what's important and interesting to me is that you got people that's in media, which means they understand the power of narratives. Do not get confused. These understand the power of narratives. So these shaming you for trying to take control of your narrative. Listen, if I'm Thug, I know people are sitting on uncertainty. Whether me and Gunna work it out, I don't know what they're gonna do. But I'm telling you, there's fans, brands, features, real ones, families, all kind of shit that's uncertain about how Thug feels about Gunna. How do you get that out? I believe the position Thug finds himself in is, yo, I've been quiet for 2 years straight and been able to say nothing. This is me coming off the heels of being as talkative ever I've ever been in my life, because I was successful. I ain't been able to say nothing in 2 years. I've lost control over my own narrative. They don't know who my friends are. They don't know who done told on me, who ain't told, who I'm still cool with, who ain't cool. And went in there and told on me, got out, snitched, got rich. I don't know what's going on. I ain't in control of my own narrative. People wearing my flags, hollering YSL, that's told on me, that's praying for me. You got on interviews acting like they praying for me after they done testified on me. You got that done took pleas on me. That's right. Come on, let's keep it gangster about the scenario the young in. He trying to take back control of his narrative. It's been 2 years of silence for this young man.
Well, friends is so hot no more. I don't know it. I'm keeping a buck with y'all just for what it rap is in a total disarray. The niggas that had it lost it. Everybody ain't got it. There's new niggas on the scene. Niggas don't want to admit it. All them niggas that's basically picked a side when this happened and said we rolling with Thug until Thug say something, we not gonna fuck with Gunna. He doing better than all them niggas.
Thug's friends are like Future. He's been on the biggest run. Like, respectfully to Gunna, he sold 91,000. Future done came out 3 times this year and I think sold 200K. See, it be the same mouths. If you let him talk long enough, you can hear him hating. You can hear him create narratives, because in one breath they'll say Gunna the hottest in the world, and in the next breath they'll say Future ain't got it no more.
Delta Airlines Flight 2998 bound for Atlanta, Georgia, with continued service to Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. All carry-on items should now be stowed securely, either in an overhead bin or under the seat in front of you.
We live? No.
Yes. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats projections, like you'll pick Patrick Mahomes for up to 2 passing touchdowns, or Saquon Barkley for more than 60 yards, and you watch the winnings roll in. I've been using Prize Picks, and it's just so simple. I can make my picks and submit an entry in less than 60 seconds. That's just 1 minute. And the withdrawals, it makes the experience even better. After you win, you definitely don't want to wait. And don't miss out on Taco Tuesdays. That's where selected player projections are discounted up to 25%. Go to prizepicks.com, use my code IUTP to receive a guaranteed $50 when you play just $5. Again, that's prizepicks.com, my code IUTP. If you support the show, sign up for Prize Picks, use my code, and watch the winnings roll in. This is daily fantasy sports made easy. Salute to Prize Picks for supporting the movement, and let's get back to the episode. Building a multi-million-dollar business. I want to welcome everybody to It's Up There podcast. I go by Big Loon, your active and attractive host. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I am uno, not dos. You must never seen the game up close. Listen, let me say this. If you are new here, I welcome you. Hit the like button, hit share, hit subscribe. Let somebody know this is where the game is being put down at a high level. Patreon.com. I pray to God to see you guys at patreon.com. It's Up There podcast. We will be going live from there much more and be able to speak to our fans, and thank you guys who are on this journey with me. We got a lot to talk about. We are on the heels of Donald Trump winning the election If you haven't saw the episodes where I spoke about that, those are on Patreon, exclusively on Patreon. Certain things don't make it past the paywall and other things do. This is gonna act as a commercial because I feel good today, so I feel like we're gonna have a great conversation. Put this on the outskirts and bring people into the inner city. See, when people talk about me, that be the thing. I listen to them talk. Oh, you ain't from the inner city. You from the outskirts. See, the inner city is my crew, is my community, and we just be, we just go to the next level. Donald Trump being in office is one thing, but I look at it and I said, man, he doing some stuff that's making people panic. This is what I've been infatuated with as I've grown and as I'm getting more and more seasoned in my position in life, is that I'm saying, yo, a lot of these people are just regurgitating information. They don't really know nothing. You get up to them and they say a lot of words, but nah, And so there's an art in regurgitation of information that's taking place at an extreme level now that we are in this digital age. But Trump is implementing things that people are saying, yo, what is he doing? Like I heard him mention reparations for white people. And black people been fighting for reparations for 50 years. He ain't even got in the office yet and told white people, hey, you get reparations, it's coming. And so when people try to understand what that means and what that looks like, basically what he's saying is people who's been affected by affirmative action and diversity, inclusion, and things of that nature. If you ask me, I don't even know how you get to the bottom of even knowing how someone is affected in these ways, right? And how do you authenticate this? That seems to be a pressing issue. But the fact that before you even get in office, you hear white people is getting reparations is alarming to black people, in particular the ones that voted and campaigned for him. Here's what I find interesting about Trump, and I'm no politician and this is no political podcast. I'm no political pundit, but here's what's funny about Trump. Trump has no obligation to anyone in his last 4 years. Number one, Trump is not a political prisoner. He will not be running for governor, Senate seat, or anything of that nature. Because he's not a career politician, all of the different things that he promised on his way in, he does not have to deliver on those because he will never need your vote again. You know how you feel when you got that girl, she's coming to your house for that last time to get her stuff out, and her feelings might be still involved, and you might have to get the police to come, man. Can somebody escort her through the house? I don't know how she handling the breakup. I don't know how she handled the last time we saw each other. You dig what I'm saying? And you got to think how the staff and a lot of these people that's going to see Trump again, it's like, yo, we don't know what's going on and how he feels. And if he's emotionally driven to do things that he may not face repercussions for because he's not a political prisoner. And I say that in the context of meaning my reputation as someone in a political seat is not indicative of success in the free market. And so what I see happening over the next 4 years, if you ask me, is going to be a lot of teasing, taunting, and mocking from both sides. It's going to activate his base to look at the other side and say, y'all really wanted Kamala to get in? Ha, ha, ha. Trump is doing the best job. This is what America needed. There's going to be mocking and provoking from the other side saying, listen, you guys are politically illiterate. You were politically uninformed and you made a decision. Now deal with the decision you made. If you ask me, it's politics as usual. I don't see this being something that is not happening in the past, man. People are always, it's a reason why they call it politicking and campaigning. Think about what that means. Think about when you're on a campaign trail, what are you doing? What are you spending your life? The last 18 months, what have you spent doing? If you ask me, they gave Kamala 90 days to run, 120 days to run, something like that. It just wasn't enough time. I imagine that she was a scapegoat, and I said that from the beginning, and I was attacked by black people. But here's what I want you guys to consider. There's talk in mainstream America. Although she got all these rappers and all these celebrity endorsements, she was unable to attack and attach to people who were unfamiliar with the political landscape. And so what Trump does well is these slogans, these very short, brief, punchy themes that Americans can identify with. And so at some point we question the celebrity endorsement. Is it losing its lackluster? You know what I see happening, and I said this on my Patreon exclusive episode, but what I think is going on is that the celebrity endorsement is often misused, right? It always begs me to question, right? When the political process can get some of the pundits to come out and maneuver and move at a volume that we almost can say, I don't know if money can even get these people to move like this, right? Because when you look at somebody like Beyonce, right, there's not a number you can just put on her showing up somewhere, right? Now she is available for booking. It's a very premium product, but she's available for booking. But the enthusiasm that I see the celebrities attached to the political process, to me, comes off disingenuous and almost offensive. Because for me, I'm saying, yo, I haven't seen you move for any black issue in that way. There has been not one black issue that I see people show up in a way that they've showed up for Kamala Harris. I see rappers go up on stage with some of these political pundits, and they got individuals in the street that has paid them for verses that they won't even do the video for. But all of a sudden, Trump can get you on stage, or Kamala can get you on stage. Like, it's a very weird energy. I mean, you know, when it's all said and done, more will be said than done. And now that she has faced that defeat, you know, for me as being a black man, seeing her being put in that position. Now, here's what they're saying on the back end, and I want to know you guys' thoughts about it. They're saying that they could not have looked over Kamala because if they would have, there would have been a big fuss about them going around the black woman to force someone else to be runner-up for president. Because if you remember, Joe dropped out of the race and Kamala just kind of appeared on the scene. The talks behind the scene is like it was almost impossible to go around her for the sake of the party. So you sacrifice the entire process by doing it that way. Last thing I want to say about this political thing, Elon Musk. Elon Musk has been very instrumental in this political process. He's even did sweepstakes in swing states to what I would call interfere with the election. Now, some can say in a good way, in a bad way. Some can say he's interfering to even the odds, whatever. I found it interesting that Elon Musk had an argument going about, yo, if Kamala wins, and hopefully one of you scholars can respond to this. So what Elon Musk was saying, that if Kamala wins, then they're going to usher in a lot of migrants and immigrants into the swing states and essentially make them blue, because the Democrats are going to incentivize the votes of illegal immigrants and therefore swing the vote in those states. Some of those, what they call battleground states. But here's what I found interesting. If Elon Musk goes and puts a sweepstake in those same swing states, in those battleground states, and he's giving some absurd amount of money, like $1 million a day for people who are voting in those areas, and he has also made it clear who he's endorsed, is that election interference? If you're asking me, the same incentive that's available to the migrants and immigrants from the Democrats to vote blue, although it's different, there is an incentive coming from Elon Musk to vote, and he has made it clear who he is endorsed. And if I got to explain to you how all those things connect, this probably is not the conversation for you. Elon is playing a dangerous game, if you ask me, because again, Trump has no allegiance to the political process or any political party moving forward after these 4 years. There's no fidelity for the Republican Party when it comes to Donald Trump. Now, for Elon Musk, that's dealing with products, services, and he has like a worldwide operation. There's a global aspect to his business operations. While him and Trump has a checkered past, in these next 4 years doesn't have Trump aligned with any agenda. Trump has already done his 4 years. He cannot be reelected. He has held the highest office in the land, so there's no need for him to go down. He's going down as one of the more powerful people who has ran across this position. He's done entertainment. He's done real estate. There's a lot that he has checked off. He has no desire to hold a political seat after these next 4 years. So if he would like to, he can do some things that has never been done before. He can make some historical moves in attempts to change the guard. But Elon has to be careful, because even after these 4 years, your decision to endorse Trump and play all in this political field can affect your bottom line and your foreign affairs moving forward. So I don't understand why he put so much on the line for Trump. I do think that he said that, yo, man, it feels like America is on the line, right? I don't know. I mean, it feels motivated. I understand that when you get that amount of money, you basically have to be involved with government agencies anyway, because you become powerful, as well as owning a platform like X. Elon Musk is in a very interesting position. Again, we'll see where it goes from here. Let's move to the real show. Let's see what we want to talk about today. Yo, I ain't in the mood to play today, so we coming in hot. First topic on the list is Joe Budden speaking about the Young Thug tweet as he seemingly distanced himself from Gunna, in a sense deleted tweet from his Twitter account. I don't even want to waste any time. Let's get right into the video and we'll react to it. Roll the tape.
Young Thug tweet and delete. I still don't know what none of it means. What was the tweet? I don't know. Basically, it's gonna like we don't like we friends, right? Yeah, we're friends for that or something. Yeah. I don't know you. I don't know you. Right? Yeah. I mean, you know, did he say it was hacked? No, he said nothing. He just deleted it. I understand how somebody can interpret his behavior as snitching. That's all I'm saying. When you say how people view him, when you talking about thugging him or the public, what do you mean? How anybody could, based on information that me as a fan has access to. The idea of saying yes, we are a gang, or the idea of saying it's me, you in a car, and that ain't mine. To me, both of those things are questionable. If you operate in the streets, if you operate in the streets, again, it's not my business. I don't care, but I'm curious to know how he gets received. That's all I'm saying. Well, I'm gonna let you know, since that has happened and he came home, just talking about Gunna. Yeah, he's done quite a few sold out shows across the country. He's dropped albums. That did great. 2 albums. That had done great. You think it's not gonna matter? Definitely not. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. Because I'm gonna tell you why I don't think it matters. Because the people that have been buying his music, that have still been supporting him, that have been going to these shows, have all been saying we don't care. I think it's easy to not care when nothing's being said. I think it's harder to care when somebody says that's a rap. Yeah, you talking about if Thug says yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes. I think it's a slap. I don't know if it's gonna matter. Thug ain't never gonna say it. Look, what you just said. I'm just looking at the projects that he's put out since this all happened. It ain't been the big name features that been working with him before.
Yo, this is why I love my job, because right when they almost got away with it, I pop up. Now, Square from Delaware, y'all clear out. Let me get it from here. So for those who are in the blind as to even what this conversation is about, from Young Thug's Twitter account, there was a tweet that has now been deleted. It says, Gunna, stop acting like we friends on the internet. I don't know you, my guy. Again, this is a declaration for Thug distancing himself. When we listen to people like Joe, Mark, Ice, and some of these other individuals, you would think that he's speaking about music. I guess people are forgetting what scenario Thug has found himself in for the last couple of years. People have been using Young Thug's silence as a tool. The fact that Thug can't say this and can't say that and clarify certain things has been used to utilize, fuel, and transform some of these dudes' lives, only because Thug has been silent. There's a cool kid element to the culture. And for those who don't recognize that, they just haven't made it to that point yet. But there's a point where you get in the cool kid car and the Drakes call you, and the Travis Scotts call you, and the Futures call you, and the Baby call you, and the Thug call you, and the Kendricks call you, and the Diddy's call you, and the Jay calls you, right? And certain people, you make your rounds because you're now in the cool kid community.
I don't know it. Yeah, I don't know that. Thug friends is so hot no more. I don't know it. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all just for what it rap is in a total disarray. The niggas that had it lost it. Everybody ain't got it. There's new niggas on the scene. Niggas don't want to admit it. All them niggas that's basically picked a side when this happened and said we rolling with Thug until Thug say something. We not gonna fuck with Gunna. He doing better than all them niggas. That's a fact. They need him way more than he needs them. That's a fact. Niggas are gonna call him, and when it's dry out here for you, they gonna call Gunna.
And here's where I want to stop, because it ain't a joke if we never get serious, right? I've heard that somewhere. I can't remember where I heard that at. It's not a joke if we never get serious. Listen, frozen water. You're wrong about this. Let's look at who Young Thug's friends are. Like, what world are you guys living in? These dudes are mythomaniacs, man. They're literally mythomaniacs. What world are you living in, bro? Young Thug's friends are like Future. He's been on the biggest run. Like, respectfully to Gunna, he sold 91,000. Future done came out 3 times this year and I think sold 200K. See, it be the same miles. If you let him talk long enough, you can hear him hating. You can hear him creating narratives. Because in one breath, they'll say, Gunna the hottest in the world. And in the next breath, they'll say, Future ain't got it no more. Baby cooled off. If 91,000 is the hottest in the world, how in the Future ain't on fire? Oh, it's your biasness. All you haters just say that. You dig? The interesting part about this is Thug and Gunna gonna go through whatever they go through and handle it however they handle it. But I do want Gunna, Thug, Meek, all you to know something. They tricking y'all with this media thing. And I'm in media, so it don't hurt me either way. But the scenario you guys are finding yourself in is that they gonna shame you for not doing it. And then when you do it, they gonna shame you for doing it. And ask yourself why they're doing that. Because at the end of the day, these content creators need something to talk about. So my job is this is what happened. What are we gonna talk about involving it? So they have to find something to speak about. Case in point, you just saw Meek Mill. Now, granted, Meek could have chosen a better way to handle this. Again, I keep telling these dudes they need to do real interviews with people that allow them to run way to get their shit off that's culturally relevant, because there's a lot of people pandering for interviews, and that's some nasty behavior. It's like, yo, bro, nobody listening to that shit. It ain't gonna be culturally relevant if somebody sit there. It don't even matter. And I say that respectfully, but kissing up don't get you through the door. That ain't never gonna get through the door. You got to have some influence. You got to have some oomph with it. But I look at Meek Mill and I say, the first thing they said about Meek Mill is, yo, why he won't say nothing about Diddy? Why he won't say that, yo, y'all got me fucked up. I ain't did no gay stuff. I ain't with the gay shit. Keep my name out of the gay shit. I don't know nothing about what Diddy done. First is that. Then when he says something about distancing himself from Diddy and don't disrespect him, what's the next thing they say? Man, he throwing his friends under the bus. Oh, man, you can't move with them because they need something to talk about. We need something to talk about. The only recourse you have when you find yourself in a fight with media is to do media. And it's to do the kind of media that gives your fans the clips and fuels and talking points to defend you in some of those comments and allow you to keep living your life. But sometimes people get too cool to do media and their brand will literally suffer from it because your narrative is created by the people who don't mind cutting the cameras on. The people that don't mind sitting here, 200,000-300,000 people listening. You dig what I'm saying? Just trying to make it through their day, but they're being influenced and you putting 2 and 2 together for them and it's making sense about why he fell off or why he owned or why he supposed to did this or why this is the scenario. It makes sense for them because most of America is the kind of people that are buy the outfit off the mannequin. So they need the narrative presented there for them. They need you to tell them what to think. They need tell them, oh, that's the same flow using. They don't give a f about if it's the same flow into it. Tell them to care about it's the same flow. I remember when the baby was going through that. Yo, they gonna trick y'all out of doing. Y'all didn't learn this from 50 Cent. 50 Cent came and told Ja Rule, man, he doing too much singing and corny. He stopped singing and 50 went to singing and never let nobody talk him out of singing. He was in the height of his beef talking about take you to the candy shop because it's a strong mind. You got to know, I mean, this shit with a mind. I mean, this shit with a mission. I'm in deep waters. I'm SEAL Team 6. It's 200-300 million out there I got to go grab. You see what I'm saying? So 50 Cent got to buckle down, trick a sucker. And all due respect to Ja, I don't know if you're a sucker, but I'm saying his mindset. Trick a in the change of his whole get down and then do what he was doing because that's what's appealing. Why would these try to trick Lil Baby into switching his flow when stealing Lil Baby flow and going to get deals? You got this implementing Lil Baby's flow and having 4 and 5 and 6 million listens. doing big boy deals off stealing his flow while y'all trying to tell him to switch his flow. But if I don't know how to cover up in the storm, these suckers throwing shit at a real. You got to know how to cover up in this shit, homie. Because if they get your confidence, you going left with them. These suckers just need something to talk about. They gonna talk about it either way, homie. But back to Thug and Gunna. And let me relax because I feel marvelous. I think this was less about who needs who. And this is Thug trying to take control of his narrative. And what's important and interesting to me is that you got people that's in media, which means they understand the power of narratives. Do not get confused. These understand the power of narratives. So these shaming you for trying to take control of your narrative. Listen, if I'm Thug, I know people are sitting on uncertainty. Whether me and Gunna work it out, I don't know what they're gonna do. But I'm telling you, there's fans, brands, features, real ones, families, all kind of shit that's uncertain about how Thug feels about Gunna. How do you get that out? I believe the position Thug finds himself in is, yo, I've been quiet for 2 years straight and ain't been able to say nothing. This is me coming off the heels of being as talkative as I've ever been in my life because I was successful. I ain't been able to say nothing in 2 years. I've lost control over my own narrative. They don't know who my friends are. They don't know who done told on me, who ain't told, who I'm still cool with, who ain't cool. Went in there and told on me, got out, snitched, got rich. I don't know what's going on. I ain't in control of my own narrative. People wearing my flags, hollering YSL, that's told on me, that's praying for me. You got on interviews acting like they praying for me after they done testified on me. You got that done took pleas on me. That's right. Come on, man. Let's keep it gangster about the scenario the young in. He trying to take back control of his narrative. It's been 2 years of silence for this young man. Let's listen to a little bit more. We cooking today.
So if y'all ain't turn y'all back on no rats, y'all still fly with everybody. Both of you niggas, shut up. Who buffer who what? You and Flip, what rat? And some while he was there. I'm just saying, why would Thug, because I disagree with you, I think that is a part of the conversation. Why would Thug step on his own dope? I can't see him ever doing that. One, that's not true. Two, in the event that he did, I think it makes Gunna bigger. This is all speculative. I mean, when Thug was locked up, Gunna came out, he dropped 2 projects. So whatever money was generated, whatever revenue was generated from those projects, Thug might have needed that money. So I'm gonna be mums to work while you are generating money for me when I'm in a fucked up situation. Right. Don't because you know despite your face. But no, that's not true. And that's what they do in the street. You will cut your nose off despite your face if you standing on principle. I know, but I don't be having a principle talk. I know, business talk. But if you're having a talk and you looking at it from Thug's perspective, you are saying fuck that money. I'm standing on principle. No, you're not. No, if he was saying that, he would have told the judge, the one person that I need to speak to, I want to be able to communicate with that was a member of this case is my brother and Gunna. That don't mean you fuck with him if I have to talk to him. I might literally have to cut him from the lady. This is why I hate these principle niggas. Now y'all conveniently speak to him when you want, but I'm not fucking with you because of my principles. If you cut you off the label, don't speak to him. I have my lawyer drop the paper. I might be doing this shit to cut you from the label. If somebody works for me, you are not. Stop. We have to stop this saying shit. You are not dropping your cash cow from your label at all. You're not doing it, even if you think he's a snitch. No, you're not doing it. We got 100 years in the music business. Point me to one person that's done it. All we have is a pattern of niggas working through their discrepancies because it's way too much money about the music business. Y'all can't fool me with that shit y'all tell your fucking street buddies. Sorry, that shit don't work on me. Well, yo, dog, let's ask Shotty if he did the Tekashi paperwork when he read it. The fuck are y'all talking about? I don't know what that means. Forget it. I get what you're saying. All this principle and moral shit, I'm sick of it. Niggas is out here doing shit for the dollar. That's better than them. I've been fighting trial with the most high-priced lawyers in the universe. I'm taking care of a million niggas. You be a fool to now turn down your top-tier act or say, yo, I'm standing on principle. I'm not taking a dollar from you. Y'all principle niggas, tell that to them.
Whoa. Let me stop him right there for a second. I want to let the record reflect, number one, that this is a trick that the media does a lot of times. For me, it's funny. But if you know, you know. And if you don't, you don't. They've now took this conversation into La La Land. They are now playing with the brand of Young Thug, Gunna, all these other in La La Land with the brand, having a conversation. And while that's good for podcasting, I don't think we need to stand on it if it lacks validity. If it's not the gospel, let's not stand on it and start having a conversation on this platform. Now, let's zoom out. Number one, Thug never spoke about tearing up a contract. So now the fact that Joe Budden is hollering in the camera saying, you principal out there, shut that shit up. You doing shit for the money and you're lying. Tell it to your street homeboys. Thug never said he was ripping up the contract. What Thug is addressing is the cultural influence. Number one, when we think about YSL in particular in the South, YSL, Young Thug, the equity that they've built up over the years in this culture, the cachet that he believes someone that may have did what he thinks is the wrong thing against his case could still be eating off of. Why not take control of that narrative? Now, I don't agree with it 2 weeks out of jail because it's a lot on the line. We want to stay clear, but this is why you got to have media next to you. You got to really lock in with someone that they know. Now, they said be with Thug now. And Thug and them got to have him around so when they speak, they know, hey, you know, he ain't said, homie said it, but homie be around slime them. And this is what I was telling Baby them the entire time is like, yo, you got me as an entity. What y'all need to feed me, feed that to me. I'll take it to the people. This is what gets your fans to know what your narrative is. You got to stay on top of that. It's very important. Narrative goes right next to product nowadays. They run hand in hand. It's a collaborative concert in which narrative and product has to work in concert for you to go platinum. There's no more going platinum just off one or the other in this niche market that we're in. I mean, at some point, these mythomaniacs that are behind these microphones and on these cameras have to put themselves in someone else's shoes and have some level of empathy and say, yo, all right, Thug has not been able to speak for 2 years. He's been fighting for his life. And this is why I say there's no real honor in street code, but there's honor in accountability. And that's man shit. But there's no honor in the street code because you'll get out and they'll look at you and say some of this shit that these people are saying. But here's the thing. Thug was quiet all the way up until the day they let him go. His freedom was on the line and they had him in court and they said, if you just testify, we'll let you go today. But if you don't, we're going to tell them people give you 25 years. We're going to tell them people nail you to the cross if you don't testify. But if you get up there, we'll let you go today. And he still didn't open his mouth. And I speak on that because maybe those are the principles and morals that Thug lives by. And so if those are my principles and morals and y'all got it mixed up thinking that I may still be in position to endorse that while going through this, I couldn't imagine what it feel like. I got to clarify that. How do I say it? They got me why I can't say it. Like, how do I do it? But while I'm going through this, they think I stand for that. I don't want nothing to happen to the homie, but I got to take control over my narrative. I've been silent for 2 years. Thug not one time mentioned that he was going to tear up a contract. He's got too much invested. If I was Thug, I would even take the options on the contract. Because you invested a lot of money in the Gunna. You built this brand up. You gave a lot of culture cachet to him. Gunna is a phenomenal artist. I told Turbo that last track that they made, I like that track. Gunna is a phenomenal artist and made some great records. But the cachet came from Thug. And so that investment costs on both ends. It costs me my time and energy, effort, and sometimes my money. But it's damn sure gonna cost you a percentage of whatever it is you got coming in. Because what I pour into you, you can't get nowhere else. I got to melt this shit down and pour it into your soul. You ain't having this kind of flavor in that shit you whipping up. You whipping up some shit, but I'm going to pour this slime shit on it, and it's going to turn into some monumental shit. And unfortunately, that comes with a debt that has to be paid. But I truly believe that we're in a weird place in media where you got Joe Budden them arguing something that Young Thug never said. He said, I don't rock with you. That's different than I'm not doing business with you. Again, when he says shit like that, it's speaking to the fence sitting. If you done chose your side, this ain't even for you. But this is for the fence sitters if this was a real tweet. For me, it's the direct addressing of uncertainty of fans, brands, and otherwise. His fans is his fans. One thing that has been abundantly clear over the last year is that Gunna's fans is his fans. And they gonna rock with Gunna. But that don't mean Thug gotta be silent. And because Thug don't rock with him don't mean he got to tear the contract up. And because Thug say he don't rock with him publicly doesn't mean Joe Budden and the Mythomaniacs. It doesn't mean that he's saying he tearing up a contract. He never said that. It's just my cosign ain't on that no more. Good luck. No disrespect. And you see Gunna people come back. Yo, our cosign ain't on that no more. Good luck, both of you. Again, these dudes will figure that out on their own time. I think it's important to bring light to the conversations happening in the culture and also give our perspective. We're going to watch a little bit more and move on. We got 3-4 topics today. We on fire. Let's continue.
Principle. I don't have to deal with that no more, bro. I'm going to short circuit listening to you. That's dismissed. My response is not, because I'm going to respond to your point. My response to that is he don't have to deal with him or talk to him for this contract to be acknowledged. Correct. He don't have to have no communication with Gunna, but his contract is still stand. I'm not turning. Let me not say me because we already said that. I don't believe that these are doing that. I think that they are lying and fronting for cameras. Maybe not Durk. We will see. Maybe not a short list of people that.
Again, this is a moot point. This conversation, if you ask me, shows that there's a very lackluster effort as it pertains to researching and also cultural equity as it pertains to the South. Listen, when we talk about the rat and the snitching, all of that shit is cloudy, is blurry, and I frankly don't give a about it at this point. And that's me, Big Loon, speaking for itself, their podcast and all of its affiliates. But here's something that I would want to address. I just want to be clear why Joe Budden is on a platform calling Young Thug a liar, that Young Thug never mentioned tearing up a contract, and he has been doing business with Gunna without speaking with him for the last 2 years. So let's be clear about the businessman that Young Thug is, as well as all of us in the South. Because when we speak about that principle, we also look across the road and we look at Future and Rocco in their scenario, in which something happened, they got the business done, and they kept it moving. You can have disagreements with people and keep the business moving. Joe, I know you watching everything I do the same way you get Dr. Umar Johnson after me every single time, because I know you my biggest fan. But when we talk about Future, and he had an artist from Florida by the name of Boston Richie. Boston Richie was on fire. Literally on fire. Took him to Epic, got him a major deal. Think it was a $2 or $3 million deal. Future was at the head of that. Some snitching allegations came out, and that bird disappeared from his pendant. I believe that the business is still going, but again, the FBG bird comes with a cosign. The YSL logo is a cosign. The CBFW 4PF is a cosign. The QC logo is a cosign. You dig what I'm saying? Some of these spots are cosigns, and what happens is when you can misrepresent, and there can even be a case made that you're still affiliated, there's benefits that go with that. And so again, I want to be clear for the onlookers, the nincompoops, and the people who don't do their research, that this conversation about Thug tearing up the contract with Gunna never took place. This is Young Thug setting a public boundary that my silence can no longer be used as a tool, and I will now take control of my narrative after 2 years of being quiet, and watch y'all celebrate people that confuse y'all with my likeness, my brand, and my celebrity. This is what Thug has been going through for the last 2 years. And so he come out, and then people saying, well, he acting too tough, man. You ain't gonna tear up your contract. Come online and tear your contract up. Yo, you guys grow up, man. You guys grow up, do some research, and stop being mythomaniacs, man. Let's move on. We got a lot to talk about today. Also, let me say this. For the people that's wondering why there needs to be a public declaration of Thug separating himself from Gunna. Again, those dudes will speak. Those dudes have a long history. I don't know how they handle that. I can't speak to it because I don't know. But for the people that's wondering why this is taking place, is again, I truly believe Thug thinks that his silence has been used as a tool by people who may or may not even still been on his good side. And so if you notice from Gunna, there's been shows where it's still been Free Slime, King Slime on the billboards, and he's still been endorsing Thug like they still have a relationship. And so now, with knowing what you know, that they probably haven't communicated over the last 2 years in any kind of way, but there's still been him posturing like The relationship is there. Some people can look at that like he's holding it down, but others can look at that like he's using the Young Thug cosign even against people like Wham and other people in the game, where it's like, man, me and Thug still brothers. He did interviews and still spoke like that because, again, when you put yourself in Gunna's situation, he can feel duped. He can feel tricked. Yo, my lawyer didn't even, man, I don't even know, right? I don't even know how that happened. I spoke to it when it happened and said the correct thing for Gunna to do was to deny that plea, take that plea back in front of the judge and ask for a bond. He was the person with one case. I truly believe that the day that they brought that plea to him, if he would have asked for a bond after rejecting that plea and taking that plea up to the courts, I believe they would have let him out. In the same way that you seen that judge let Thug out, knowing that, yo, if he gave y'all a signature and testified, y'all would have let him out today. So he cannot be a public nuisance because his signature would have got him out today. It's common sense. But because of all of the shows, all of the gatherings, all of the interviews, all of the clips, and the fans being uncertain, I believe after 2 years, Young Thug is finally trying to take over his narrative. And I believe they got it wrong on this one. So salute to the Joe Budden podcast and the live audience. Let's go to the next subject. We're on fire today. FYBJ Main and Rainwater went on Say Cheese TV. For those who do not know, FYBJ Main is someone from Chicago. Rainwater is Mo3's manager, legendary artist from Texas who has now deceased, RIP Mo3. FYBJ Main has been doing this thing around town where he's been pushing peace. He comes from Chicago. You know, my heart goes out to all of the people in Chicago as they are in a war amongst themselves. And the ghetto doesn't produce the kind of handbook that will allow us to deal with death in a way where we can let things go. I believe that Chicago game that they've been playing for so long ultimately is one of the reasons Durk is in the scenario that he's in, because that's what was bred and taught to him, is that unfortunately up through here is a life for a life. So peace and pushing peace is a very sensitive topic in Chicago. And I need that to be clear as we walk down this road and deal with this interview, because there's been a lot happening surrounding this FYBJ Main dude and his posturing and positioning. FYBJ Main comes from a block that's arch enemies with Lil Durk. Chicago has been having this shirts versus skins thing going on for the better part of 10 years, in which it's been O Block versus 63rd. And in a number of different songs, you've heard rappers reference that I'm not from 63rd or I'm not from Old Block and won't fuck, you know. It's been these kind of vibrations amongst these two crews for as long as I knew about Old Block and 63rd. And so because FYBJ Main comes from 63rd, which is an area, and this is just from my brief understanding, I don't know a lot about it. I have spoke with Tay Savage, salute to the homie, I'm gonna get him on soon. And me and Mama Duck actually had an interview last week that we had to cancel because evidently her lawyers doesn't want her to speak about certain things. And for me, it just didn't make sense for us to continue with that interview. But I would assure you, if me and Mama Duck would have sat down, it'd have probably been the best interview in the world for her. And probably one of the more touching interviews for me, to be able to show myself in a different light, dealing with a mother that's dealt with death of that magnitude. But she was the mother of FBG Duck. FYBJ Main and FBG Duck are of the same lineage, of the same crews and cliques and neighborhoods and things of that nature, and that's their crew. And so FYBJ Main has found himself in a scenario where he's done well for himself online and he's kind of blew up. And so he's been pushing peace. Lil Durk hit him. Lil Durk hit him and had him come out at the United Center in Chicago. It was a big look for him with the pushing the peace talk. As you know, before Durk was arrested, he had went Muslim and was kind of trying to change his perception and imagery in the public eye to show them that he is making a change for the right reasons. And this conversation comes up about whether or not it was genuine. Did Durk know the feds were coming? Like, this is long conversation about what if. I want to talk today about FYBJ Main, Lil Durk, and this conversation that they've had on Say Cheese with Mo3's manager Rainwater. It's a lot to get into. Oh, for people who do not know who these gentlemen is, so what we're about to look at is FYBJ Main and Rainwater speak about FYBJ Main going on stage with Lil Durk, who is quote unquote his opposition. Is FYBJ Main chasing clout, or is he genuine? Let's pay attention. Rotation.
Yeah, the man, this Wallow 267. You're now tuned into It's Up There podcast, man, with my man Loon, man. Check him out.